And I'm telling you this for the last time. Greetings, Seeker. It is I, your friendly neighborhood rabbi, and today we are talking about the fifth and final book of the Torah, Deuteronomy, which is an English word from two Greek words, which means the second telling. In Hebrew, it's Devarim, or words, and appropriately, this book is largely one long speech. It is Moses' swan song to the people he's been leading for 40 years, and has he got some words for them. An important piece of information here is that somewhere in the wilderness, Moses lost his temper with the people that he was leading, varied slightly from instruction that God had given him, and God decreed that Moses could not enter the promised land with the people. Here this group is again, after like 40 years since the incident of the spies in the book of Bamidbar. They're all on the edge of the wilderness. They're on this side of the Jordan River, ready to cross over into the land that is their inheritance from their father, Abraham. But Moses can't go with him. So he says, okay, people, we've been together for a long time. This is actually a whole new generation of people who were born, for the most part, since we left Egypt. And so before you go over there, I want to make sure you know where you came from. And Deuteronomy, or second telling, is about Moses' long final speech to this people, giving them the history of the people since they left Egypt, giving a reminder, an occasional summary of what God had said to them since, including a retelling of the Ten Commandments and a retelling of many of the stories that we've had in the Torah, and a reminder about many important laws and commandments that God has given them to help them be a holy people, and all sorts of other repetitive stuff. Deuteronomy is a storehouse of riches for biblical critics and heretics and scofflaws alike, because sometimes in that retelling of the story, there are subtle changes of detail. For example, when the Ten Commandments were spoken on Sinai, they said, Zachor et Yom HaShabbat l'kodsho, remember the Sabbath day for holiness. And when Moses retells in Deuteronomy, he says, Shamor et Yom HaShabbat l'kodsho, keep or guard the Sabbath day. Now, the rabbis explain this as Zachor and Shamor being intricately connected, and it's possible that God actually said both words at once on Mount Sinai. But other people look at inconsistencies in the book of Deuteronomy and say, Bible's bogus because it's got these inconsistencies. I prefer to think of it as layered truths that tell different things to different generations in ways that they can uniquely understand. And that's how our holy texts stay alive and relevant for us. And God and Moses had figured this out way long ago. The final scene in Deuteronomy is, for me, the most poignant scene in all of the Torah, because it's the scene where Moses finishes his speech, goes up into the hills of the steppes of Moab, and dies before getting to cross the river with his people. This is, for me, one of the greatest tragedies of the Torah, that he led them all this way and doesn't get to go with them. But here's the kindness in this story. He went off alone to die, and there was nobody to go bury him. And it says that actually God buried Moses. And just like in the book of Leviticus, where we were exhorted to copy God, to imitate God and God's behavior, and there's a passage in rabbinical writings that says, just as God buried the dead like God did for Moses, so too should we take responsibility for burying people who don't have surviving family members, or surviving family members with the means to bury them. We should take care of people with dignity to their last breath and beyond. This is the conclusion of the Torah, or the 5 books of Moses, often called that because Moses is sort of a principal character who's in 4 of the 5 books. The only one who's in more books of the Torah than Moses is God. You guys, it's been super fun learning the first 5 books of the Torah with you. In future videos, we'll pick up with Joshua, the next book of the Tanakh, and hopefully make our way through all the books of the Jewish canon before I'm too old to figure out YouTube anymore. If you've liked these videos, like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to mash my face. That is, click on the picture of my face to make sure you're subscribed to this channel so we can continue learning together. Check out another video in this Torah YouTube ecosystem. And if you want to take your learning with me to the next level, click on this helpful download I provided for just such an occasion. Till next time, friends, peace.